Okay, so you hit 41 weeks pregnant and everyone's texting you asking, any baby yet? Any baby yet? Meanwhile, you're over it. You're just thinking to yourself, if one more person asks me if the baby is here, yeah, that just might do it. But here's the thing. What if I told you that being 41 weeks pregnant doesn't automatically mean that something's wrong or that you need to rush to an induction right now? Today, we're talking about what really happens at 41 weeks. We're going to talk about the things no one tells you, but that you absolutely need to know to make the best choices for your birth. So, let's get into it. Now, first, let's clear up one of the biggest pregnancy myths out there: being late. You're not late at 41 weeks. Let me pause, rewind, let me say that again. You are not late at 41 weeks, mama. You're still pregnant, yes, and that's normal. Normal, healthy pregnancies can range anywhere from 37 weeks to 42 weeks. That's a 5-week window of what's considered to be full term. In fact, research shows that due dates are actually estimates, and only 4 to 5% of babies actually arrive on their due date. Most babies come within about a week or two on one side or the other, meaning 1 or 2 weeks before the due date or 1 or 2 weeks after the due date. And get this, studies show that first-time moms especially are more likely to go past 40 weeks because their bodies are doing this for the very first time. The cervix takes a little longer to ripen, and hormones, well, they take their time syncing between you and your baby. And also, your baby might just need those extra few days to finish their lung or brain development. So, no, you are not broken. You're not failing. You're just doing what billions of bodies have done before you. You're growing your baby on your own body's timeline. Now, let's talk about what's going on under the hood right now. At 41 weeks, your baby is in deep preparation mode. Your cervix is likely softening and thinning, even if you're not feeling big contractions yet. Your oxytocin receptors are multiplying, making your body more responsive when labor does start. And your baby, they're layering on fat to help regulate their body temperature after birth. They're also practicing breathing movements and producing more surfactant, the stuff that keeps their lungs open once they're born. So if you feel like your baby's doing nothing, trust me, it's doing so much. It's just happening behind the scenes. Okay, now let's talk about the elephant in the room, induction, which you may have started to hear, especially from a provider. If you're 41 weeks, chances are your provider has mentioned scheduling an induction, or you've already been told that you're overdue. Here's what's important, okay? It's important to know that you have options. According to the ACOG, which is the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, inductions between 41 and 42 weeks can be considered, but it's not automatically required, especially if your baby's doing well and your tests actually look good. That's where biophysical profiles and non-stress tests come in. They're the tests that monitor your baby's heartbeat, the amniotic fluid, and your baby's movement just to make sure that everything's okay. If those results are reassuring, then you can safely continue to wait for spontaneous labor if that's what you want. The key is having an informed choice. Let me say that again. The key is having an informed choice. Knowing what's happening, knowing what your options are, and what questions to ask so that you can feel confident and not pressured. Now, let's talk about what you can do right now to support your body while it's prepping for labor. Because I know you're tired, I know you're uncomfortable, and I know you're ready to evict your tiny tenant. But there are gentle, evidence-based things that you can do to help. First off, stay upright and move your pelvis. Try things like hip circles on a birthing ball or just taking some slow walks. Movement really helps your baby's head to apply pressure to your cervix, which will in turn help to encourage dilation. Also, stay hydrated and nourished. Now, if this is your first time, it's important for me to say it, but if you've watched week by week, then you've definitely heard me say before the importance of hydration and being well nourished. Your uterus is a muscle, and muscles need hydration. They also need fuel to work efficiently, especially once those contractions kick in. The next thing you can do is rest. Yes, I said rest. It's tempting to do all the things before baby gets here, right? But you need energy for the marathon of labor. So if you're not in labor yet, I want you to rest now. Trust me, you will thank yourself later, because when it kicks in, you have to be in it for the long haul. All right. Now, also, there's curb walking. This can help with your baby's position and engagement, but also check with your provider first if you have any complications or any restrictions at play. Now, at this stage, it's super important to know the signs. That means it's time to call your provider. So I want you to call your provider right away if you notice any of these things. First up, a decrease in your baby's movements. Even though your baby is growing and filling out, putting on layers of fat, it is super important that they still are moving and kicking at the same rate as before. So if you notice a decrease, I want you to reach out to your provider. If you notice leaking fluid or that your water has broken, especially if it's greenish or brown, then reach out to your provider. If you have any bright red bleeding, that is also a sign. Reach out to your provider, as well as having a sudden headache, any blurred vision or swelling. Those are all things that your provider needs to know about. Otherwise, I want you to keep tuning into your baby's movements. Your kick counts are your best reassurance that baby is still happy in there, so make sure you pay attention. Now, let's talk about your mindset for a second, because honestly, this part is just as important as the physical stuff, and in some regards, I would even say it's almost even more important than the physical aspect of giving birth. The last days of pregnancy can feel like a waiting game, but this time is actually an invitation to slow things down a bit. Really ground yourself and prepare mentally for the transition into motherhood. Your hormones, especially oxytocin and prolactin, really thrive when you feel safe, when you feel calm and supported. So this is your reminder to create your oxytocin bubble. That means less Googling and more baths. Fewer when is the baby coming, and more affirmations and soft music. Your baby will come. For sure. There's no doubt about that. And when they do, all of this waiting will suddenly make sense. So if you're sitting there at 41 weeks wondering, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong, mama. You're growing, you're preparing, and your baby's just taking their sweet time. Now, if you are still pregnant at this point, I want to say congratulations for even making it this far. You have done such an amazing job on just getting both you and your baby here safely. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your journey, and keep me posted in the comments, because I am always watching, I'm always responding. I like to check in on my moms to make sure that they are safe and their babies have arrived safely. So definitely be sure to check in the comments, and we're going to do one more week next week to finish off this series. So be sure to check in whether you're pregnant or not. All right, I'll see you next week.